Hey there, Bang. What's up? We're live on YouTube. 9:44 this morning, Monday, and I know you love when I say this. Day's over, and the more you start to understand and appreciate the way we trade, and again, if you're doing this for a living, right? Break it down to the most basic ideas. What are you trying to do, right? If you're day trading for a job, your job is to make a day's pay, right? You're not trying to get rich. You take what you can get as a day trader. So if you come in on a Monday morning, market's down, we've already been down. Friday was a big down day. You wait for a little short covering. When does that short covering ensue? VWAP breaks. You understand that the QQQ is a great trade. Every time it's under the VWAP and breaks, generally you'll get an algorithmic burst of buying. You understand that. And as a day trader, that moment in itself is the trade. So if you're sitting here and you came in this morning, by the way, JETS, Jets, minus the 9.5 and the money line. We'll get into that bad roughing the passer call and the fact that the score should have been 10-10 at halftime, and it might have been a different game. They still were going to lose that game, but and again, my parlays have hit, my teaser hit, and the only bet I lost was the Giants, but that was amazing. And I should have hedged myself on the way when they started making that comeback. But again, just like trading, you go 3 for 4, you should come out ahead. Today we have just gone, depending on which stocks you were looking at, we had AVGR. That was our little weird one this morning. VWAP break 3 or 4 different times. I haven't been trading pre-market, but the trade was there. That's what we try to do. We try to find ideas. The idea was there. The VWAP break was there. The understanding of the trade was there. And these were $5, $6. This was a $6 stock moving in 50-cent increments and was fantastic. Then we had VFS. You guys remember the VFS trade? Stock's been finding love down there, between 15 and 17. And when does that love get confirmed? When it breaks VWAP and ranges. So pretty quick move on VFS at 940. Stock just popped the dollar, and in typical fashion in the market that we're in right now, pop and drop and pop and pop and drop, and the dips are being bought, but also the rips are being sold, otherwise known as a sideways choppy market, which is my favorite market. My favorite market because I always sell into the move and I always cover on the way down, anticipating the snapback. The days when the market continues to go up from 9:30 to 4, the days where I'm generally unhappy. And in the raging bull market, when we just go up every day, many days in a row, I'm generally unhappy those days also, because I feel like I've missed something by not holding. But then we go back to my kind of market, which is typically what we're seeing here. And it's fantastic because I'm just here to make a day's pay. And also, you guys know I sell a lot of premium. So every day that the market just stays flat, it's another day closer to expiration. Volatility is compressing. Option prices are going down. As a seller that has already sold, short strangles. If you don't know what a short strangle is, we could talk about it some other time. But right now, it's making a day's pay as soon as possible. The days have been getting squadushy very, very quickly. And squadouche in that environment, that excessive chop, even though I just described how chop can be good, there's a point where it becomes too choppy and you don't have enough follow through. So you just chop, and you never come out of these ranges. And those ranges cause you to grind and churn your account, and you give back what you made. So right now, we're not going to give back the QQQ money. Look what happened to VFS, pop and drop. And most of the time, these weird $3, $5, $10 stocks at the beginning of the day are all pump and dumps as well. So you'll get a pop, and then you'll get a drop, And you just try to navigate it as best as possible. And then, of course, remember why you're here and what you're trying to accomplish. You just want to make something. You want to make some money. You want to make a day's pay. So let's take a look at a couple other ones. You know my list, right? Always looking at Carvana, right? Always watching Carvana for what it just did. Now, again, 3 minutes ago. I'm not going to say we traded it, but this is where, when I'm always talking about how it's not me, it's not me. These are the trades that work. And once you understand what a faux show bro looks like and a VWAP break, and you have a nice set list or a watch list to go to, my list has been the same list now for over, 8 or 9 months. I trade the same stocks, I trade the same setup, and it never changes. And that consistency is what you need to become a good trader. And that's what we do. And that's all we do. And right now, Carvana doing lovely Carvana things, and the Q's trying to go green, and the market is finding buyers, and it's fantastic, right? Because if you just sat down and you witnessed the Carvana breaking the VWAP, you said, hey, I love Carvana. That's right, you do. And you bought it at $52, and it just went from blue line to orange line. Blue line to orange line. That's how you make a living doing this. Blue line, orange line. So now you would sell some Carvana here, and you would have a really nice trade on your hands. And that's how it happens. It's not about, finding the holy grail. We have a trade that tends to work. It's called a setup. And all you're doing is watching the stocks you like to form that setup to then trade that trade. Like the Carvana just now. Here, I'll show you. AVGR is the one that we've been watching this morning. AVGR, right? So let's say you were watching it all morning like we were, and you saw it ass crack and VWAP break 5 times for paydays. So maybe at 9:47, which was 5 minutes ago, you said, okay, cool, let me keep an eye on it. Oh, it just broke VWAP, buy it. And then you buy it at 663. And next thing you know, the stock's at 724. But now look where it is. It's right back to 650. So if you bought it at 663 and it went to 7.25, you have to sell. Because look how quickly that trade just became a flat trade to a small loss. But if you trade the way that we trade, the way that I teach you how to trade, is if you're in a volatile, weird stock you never heard of, and I love the symbol, Avenger. You guys remember Dungeons and Dragons? Avenger was the bad guy with the one horn. Anyway, but you got to be sitting there. You got to be prepared. And the idea is that once you're prepared and you understand the trade, then that illusion of it being quick is gone. Sure, they're quick trades, but if you're waiting for them, you're stalking them like a hunter. Every second is agonizingly long. It's not quick. You're waiting for the setup, and then you're taking your shot. And then you send the hounds to go get your prize. And then you start working the trade. And then you'll start to see that it's the same day. And then occasionally, by the way, it becomes the same stocks like Carvana, right? Carvana, right? How you doing? Did I beg you? I'm not going to beg you to buy it, but when you see a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal, when you see a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal, when you see the trade that I've been talking about since 2012, how special it is and how many times it shows up and how it works so well. And when it works the best is when stocks are down to start the day. It works best on stocks that are popular. Now, I just checked every box off on Carvana. It's one of our best stocks. Brought it to you guys at $8, $9. I begged you to buy it. I pleaded with you. This one, I actually did beg you to buy it. My price target was $58. Very specific target because of the triple top that it once hit. We got the 58. The stock continues to be in play. You know that. Everybody knows that. This stock wants $97. It can't go to $97 without breaking VWAP to the upside almost every other day. Friday, we had a down continuous day. It was consolidating the monster month that it had. And today, you're following through to the upside. But that's the point. If you came in this morning and you said, all right, I'm going to watch Carvana. You say it's the greatest stock in the world. You say it works when it does the setup. I do say that. I say that a lot. And then you said, hey, is this that moment, Kenny? Is this that moment? I don't hear you talking about it because I'm talking about the Qs and VFS and Avenger. But there goes our friend Carvana. You understand that you should be trading Carvana. You understand the setup. You understand the enormous what's the word? Success rate that this trade has. And there it is. So now at 9:55, sure, we'll go on for an hour, right? We'll go on for an hour. But now you take it back to the point where you say to yourself, all right, cool. Carvana was an extra icing on the cake trade today. I found the Qs. I found some VFS. I found some Avenger. I just did a Carvana trade. That's 4 in already. Remember the casino. You've done 4 trades now and they were all successful. Will you go 5 for 5? You're going to try to hit the parlay? 5 for 5's tough. Or you quit while you're ahead. Or you take your size down to the point where if the next trade doesn't work, it doesn't really make a dent in the day. And that's where we're at. And every day you just navigate these 2 hours and make a day's pay, and it can be done. And not only can it be done, if you're out there, I know I got your emails, and some of you guys I have to send my responses. Here's the deal. I just want you to take my trades. I want you to join my website. I want to teach you this trade. And then if you're of sane mind and understand order entry, sane mind is important. I need you to be somewhat insane. I'm not sane. It's okay. We're all nuts. I just need you to be sane enough to understand what we're trying to accomplish here, what we're trying to do, what the trade is, and how to place an order. If you do not don't know how to place the order, that's the one point where I can't get you over that hump. You got to be able to know if we're buying Carvana and the stock's breaking VWAP at 52, you got to understand you're buying the $52 call or maybe the 53s for the week. But more importantly, buy the stock. Trade the stock right at that price. When did it break VWAP? 52.16. That's where I want you in. And where are the stops? If you're buying a VWAP break at 52.16, prior levels of support, the candle lows, are your stops. And you'll understand it. Once you get that trade, it's the same trade every day. It's breaking VWAP. I buy it here. Prior candle low, place one stop. Prior candle low, place one stop. Where is it going? I don't know. I hope it goes to the orange line. Ooh, it's at the orange line. I will sell half my position. Sell. I will raise my stop once I start to sell. Now I'm locked into profit. This game is easy. And that's it. And that's the trade. And that's where we're at. And that's how it could be for everybody. Join the website. Put up a smidgen of money. Let me show you how to do this. And I'll open up an account. I will give you a username and a password. And you go to work. Let's do this. Let's do this because today's over. You would have got paid today, no doubt. Q's, Carvana, and that's it. I probably wouldn't give you permission to trade the VFS or the Avenger. That would be for somebody else who's more skilled. If you are a rookie beginning trader, we're always trading the Qs, Q options, Carvana options. Let me train you. Let me put you in the position to succeed. I will help you succeed. You helping me, I'm helping you. We're all helping each other. And that's it. And that is the day that I would like to spend for the next 10 years. Give me 10 more years and we're all going to be good. The market's going to rally. It's going to crash. It's going to have crazy times. The next 10 years is, I don't think it's going to be a replica of what we just witnessed in the last 10 years because we threw in a pandemic and some crazy stuff. But remember, there's a lot of things out there that could happen. New recession, new depression, new saber rattling, Taiwan, China. And of course, if you get as many emails as I get, the new death date is October 13th. So we made it through September 13th. And now you thought I'd go through an entire rant about not talking about one of these emails? Hang on. Russian blah, blah, blah. Caution, the man who. Oh, by the way, the man who emails, some of my favorite. Because if you read the man who, the man who, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, it's the man who picked Amazon at 12 cents, which is one of my favorites. The man who picked Amazon at 12 cents is saying this now, right? If you think about it, we're all the man who. Let me ask you a question. Anybody in the sound of my voice? Wait, hang on. We're all the man who, right? Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. The man who. I am the man who, which is also my Aborigine name, the man who. I am the man who, tribe of VWAPian, the man who. That guy's funny. Hey, what's up? We're in the middle of a conversation as always. What's up, Raging Bullers? We're talking to YouTube. We're talking to Sri Lanka, talking to my people over there. And we're talking about how this day is firmly in hand. And you're witnessing it. And you're seeing it on the screen right now. It's our old friend Carvana, right? And we're talking about the essence of what we're trying to accomplish here on a daily basis. And the essence of what we're trying to accomplish here on a daily basis is to have a job where we are our own boss, we are in control of our own destiny, and we are responsible for our own actions. Isn't it fantastic? So without having to worry about commuting and bosses and TPS reports and anything like that, if you take trading and you view it the way I view it, I'm here to make a day's pay and go away. Make a day's pay, go away. Make a day's pay, go away. Right? So with that as your goal, and you've heard this saying that you should have a goal as a trader, right? That's your goal. Your goal is to make a day's pay. Now, here comes where it's relative. If I made $250 this morning, and again, I extrapolated over the course of an entire day. If you make 250 by 10:03 in the morning, that's fantastic. I don't want to hear it. It's fantastic. If you're making 250 by 10 o'clock, remember, you haven't left the house. You are your own boss. You don't have to pack lunch. At 250 a day, it's roughly $62,000, $65,000 a year, barring any disasters. But remember, you're only working about an hour a day. You got to factor that in. But here's the fun part. If you could do 250 a day, then you could do 300 a day. And if you could do 300 a day, you know what you could do? 500 a day. And if you could do 500 a day, inevitably you'll get to the point where you're doing $1,000 a day like it's nothing, because it's not the money. The money is the default of knowing what you're doing. Once you know what you're doing, All you're doing after that is you size up. So like I said, if you could do 250, you could do 5. If you can make 5, you could do that $1,000 a day. And $1,000 a day, you're coming in at roughly a quarter mil, 260,000 a year, barring any, awfulness. And that's what you try to avoid, the awfulness. And how do you avoid the awfulness? Don't own stocks. Don't swing trade. Don't do anything. I know we all do other things. And I speak in this grandiose way about everything has to be all or nothing. It's never all or nothing. I do plenty of other things. But let's say you only take this trade, right? You should come out ahead. If I would avoid naked call writing back in 2013, my life would be different now. That's how I got into that awful short position I was in, and then buying stupid amount of puts. If I would have avoided buying options into earnings reports back when I first started trading, I'd have a lot more money now. So basically, it's always just it's a learning process of what does work and what doesn't work. VWAP trading as a day trader works. Everything else after that is 50-50 at best. So the question is, why even try anything else? Because we do. Because we do, right? Like, why did I have to take Colorado State plus 17.5? Because I watched the game and I was like, you know what? This is going to be a close game. Plus 17.5 on Colorado State. I'm in. I was already having a good day. I had Georgia in the second half. I had JMU to win over Troy. That's my school. JMU is where my son goes. And I chose to bet again. But if you're going to make those choices in trading, at least trade the same trade. That tends to work if you're going to keep trading for the day. Remember, we're in a squadouche kind of market. There's not much going on. So if you know there's not much going on and you make your days pay rather quickly, right? That should be more incentive to say, okay, what am I going to do now with the rest of my day? Anything but give money back. Do anything. Go that Bob Ross class you've been waiting to take. Do it. Do it. You wanted to learn how to tie your own fly fish? Today's that day. That thing that you've been meaning to do it. Start today. That book you've been trying to read, get into it. Don't churn your accounts. This is the greatest, easiest, hardest job you'll ever have in your life. All right. So while we're sitting here, everybody's waiting for Carvana to do something else. If you're long Carvana, you know where your stop is? I'll show you. You see the top of this candle and the bottom of that candle? That's your stop. Those are what I call points of interest or moments of circumstance, or just very important moments right there. Look at that. Where stocks break out from and then test, that's a moment right there. That's a price of interest to me. And I will look at that price and I will look at that exact price. And I will say that price is 53.69, and I will use that price as my out, that exact price. And then I'll go look at that candle and I'm like, all right, if I got 200 shares of Carvana left, I'm going to use 53.69 and I'm going to use 53.50. If it's close to the half number, generally I'll go right to the half. So I would use this as one stop. This is another one. And then I'm sitting here waiting for Carvana to do whatever it's going to do. Oh, yeah, the book I've been trying to write for 22 years. Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's not, my life's not, I haven't retired yet. So one of the days I'll elaborate on this book. Infinitesimally small balls. It's a big word. It's a good story, but you know what's even better? Carvana right now. You see how it's breaking new highs? That's right. That's why you don't sell your whole entire position at one price. How do you stay in these trades? How do you avoid that moment? Oh my God, I can't believe it's still going up. Don't sell it all at one price. There's been no reason to get out of the entire Carvana yet. You know why? Because it hasn't broke back below where it came from. Broke back mountain? No. Broke back below these things right here. You see it? And you see the collision of the orange and the blue? The collision of the orange and blue is a very unique moment. You got the 1 minute and the multi-day are the same price. So if you're going to let this stock breathe all the way down to there, you know for a fact you're not letting it go back below that price. As a matter of fact, if it breaks there, chances are it's going to be a short. But as long as you're in the trade, you work the trade, right? So let's go back to a couple other ones. And if you're in the Carvana, I love you. If you bought the dip on the Qs, you're feeling this day already, right? Let's take a look at a couple of our other ones, right? You all know you love Affirm now, right? You love Affirm. I've been talking about the stock now for 3.5 weeks, how it's being bought on dips, and I think it's getting taken over and it's being acquired. That's when you start to see this type of action. Because if you haven't noticed, this stock, even when the market was getting smoked, there's a buyer out there. Even when the market's pulling back, there's a buyer out there. Even when you think this thing's about to go down, there's a buyer out there. So that's your premise, right? That's your notion. I've got a notion that this stock's going to $38. Can't go to 38 without going through 24. You know, when you see a stock break down and come right back, that's the faux show, the fake out, shake out, and then the breakout. And speaking to you guys on YouTube, I'm right there. I might be able to beam you my screen and my dumb face soon. I don't know if you want to see all that, but you guys have to deal with just my face. But if you're looking at Affirm and you're looking at Carvana, you're also looking at the two stocks that we trade every day. Every day we trade Carvana and every day we trade Affirm, short or long. So if you come in, you say, all right, cool. Monday is going to be that day. I'm going to finally listen to Kenny Glick on the YouTube show. He tells me to watch Carvana. He tells me to watch Affirm. Oh my God, it's going down. What do? I don't know. Oh my God, it just pivoted off the lows. I think that could be that moment that he describes. Oh my God, it is. Oh my God, it's breaking VWAP. I think I should be buying it. Yes, I think I should be buying it as well. What do I do next? I take my finger and I push either the buy button or the F12 button if you're using hotkeys. Then the stock starts to go up. What do I do now? You sell some. Where do I sell some? I sell some when it starts to go up. At what price? The price is where you're making money. So here, look, if you bought some at 24.21, you see how it got to the half? You'd be selling some here. And then you would raise your stop to prior breaks. And now you're still in it. And now that it broke a new high, you raise your stop to 24.57. You sell some here at 24.75. You think to yourself, it's probably going to go to 25, but I'm going to sell it if it breaks back below the 57. And that's how you stay in the trade. And they just keep finding us. And Carvana still looks pretty damn good. And Affirm new highs. And I gave you my watch list, the number one watch list in America, my ex-hedge fund watch list. Every one of these stocks I owned at one point this year, and they're all pretty good trading stocks. Some stocks have turned over and just died, like NNOX and GDRX, very disappointing if you own them, which we don't. Gave up on most of his long trades when I got back from Greece, and now we're back to being liquid. 5.5%. Anybody want a 5.5% guaranteed CD? Umpqua Bank. I'll tell you more about it next time I see you. But I search for yield. I'm a yield buyer. I'm buying treasuries. I'm buying three-month CDs they're giving out now for 5.5%. I search for yield every day. I transfer from place to place to place, chasing yield. Anyway, how about Affirm? You guys like Rambus, right? You guys like Rambus? Who doesn't like Rambus? I even own the stock again. Shut up. I even own the stock again. Don't tell anybody. I even own the stock again because you know what? I looked at that chart again. I'm like, you know what? This stock probably is going to 127 and 250 in the next 4 to 5 years. I'm in Rambus, by the way, full disclosure, 200 shares at $58. I'm not selling it. I don't care where it is. But you know how much I love Rambus, and you love Rambus, and we all love Rambus, right? So I love Rambus. You love Rambus. He likes Rambus. Kurt Rambus, that guy Rambus. By the way, you watching the greatest show that nobody's talking about is this Lakers dynasty show. Phenomenal. Anyway, but the other guy, now his name wasn't Rambus. No, it was Rambus. Yeah, Rambus. There was 2 Rambuses. Rambi. But you know you love yourself some Rambus, right? You know you love 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversals. And boom. Let's say you missed the first move in Rambus. It comes all the way back down to where it came from. And then it breaks back over the VWAP. You're a buyer. Bang, bang. 1 minute, multi-day, boom. You're selling into the move and then back to doing the work again. Place stops where it broke out from. And you got yourself a decent trade. This isn't too hard once you have what you want to do, right? And here's the thing about the industry. Remember, I'm not a huge fan of the industry. You know, I'm going to start keeping that to myself. You get it, right? Because everybody's trying to confuse you and confound you. And this is the least confusing thing there is. This cuts through all of it. And also, when you have something that works, you do that. And that's what you do now. You trade VWAP. This is what you do. And this is all you do now. And now it's been 11 years. The track record is intact. The trade works. There's no need to keep tweaking. There's no need for new scanners. There's no need for excessiveness. Keep it simple. Do this trade. Win. And there goes Avenger, everybody. AVGR for the win again. AVGR. Tell me you're watching it, right? VWAP shuffle for 45 minutes. And then what does it do? Breaks out. What does it do? Breaks another high. What's it do? Breaks another high. What's it do? Breaks the high of the day. Right? This is the best trading market ever in the history of trading. Opportunities continue to find us. You do not need a scanner. You do not need much. You just need to have a watch list, a rudimentary scanner that is built into most platforms. I'll show you how to build it. It's free. And once you understand what you're doing and how to do it, you'll never not know. And then you'll become jaded and cynical, and you'll understand why I kind of mock this entire industry for all of its folly. Because when you break it down, what is everybody trying to do? Make money. This is the easiest way to do that. And you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. That's why conversations about the market right now, to me, are kind of boring. Conversations about new this or new that or new ways to do this or cryptocurrency or where gold's going to go, none of it matters. And by the way, gold, my friends who are betting me the car, you got 50 days. I have a bet out there with 5 guys that gold will not be 5,000 on November 10th. So countdown's on. By the way, what do I get out of it? Oh, that's right. I just shorted gold. But I'm gonna go ahead and say gold will not be 5,000 on November 10th. I'm sticking to it. 5 guys, I owe you a car. But if gold happens to be at 5,000 on November 10th, hopefully silver's gone along for the ride, and maybe I'll buy myself a new car too while we're at it. But anyway, no jokes, right? No jokes. How do I build the scanner? I'll show you. Well, Thinkorswim has a couple in there. Well, I can't get into it right now. It's a process. And if you know how to use, every platform has scanners built in. You just got to know where to look, and what you're looking for. It's just parameters. But what I have found over the last 30 years, and I've been when scanners first became a thing, right? The problem with the scanner is it scans too many things. And what's funny about the premise, the idea is that it's hard to watch all these stocks. You need this scanner to do that for you. No, you don't. You could trade the same 8 stocks over and over again for the rest of your life. And then you'll find another 8 stocks to trade. And if those become kind of sluggish, you'll find 8 other ones. And that's what you do. You don't need anything else. And what you certainly don't need is to be running around changing your philosophy or a new scanner or a scanner that does this or a scan. Either you know what you're doing or you don't. No scanner is going to help you because remember, what's the scanner doing? It's giving you the idea. Now what? What do I do now? See, the idea, the illusion is that there's a scanner out there that's going to scan the market, do the trade for you, place the money in your account, and you just sit there going, oh, I love scanners. There is no scanner. I've been waiting for that scanner. There is no scanner that places the money in your account. There is no scanner that places the money in your account. I have yet to find it. But more importantly, new highs on the Qs. More importantly, Affirm, new highs. More importantly, Carvana, new highs, because nobody's selling it, right? You're not selling the Carvana. You got the one dip they tried to get you to sell, right? And now you raise your stop to that last breakout spot, which kind of was 54.36 if you're going to get out of this thing, right? Now I'm going to show you a couple of stocks that my friends are watching, right? Remember Adobe from last week? Yes, you do. Now, again, why do I not bring up Adobe? Because most people can't trade it, right? But let's say you were sitting here and you remembered the Oracle from the Matrix. Remember the Oracle from last week? Bad numbers. The first day was kind of sluggish. Second day was great. Third day was great. Fourth day was pretty good. You got the pop and the drop on the Oracle. So there's the thesis, the idea, the premise. And what you want to do is like, oh, Adobe, they reported on Thursday. It was pretty active on Friday. Maybe I should check on Adobe on Monday morning. Maybe you should. And then look what it does. Right out of the gate, blue line to orange line. All right, you missed it. Comes back, tests the blue line, hangs in there. Maybe you buy it again using that one little pivot as you're out. And then you get another chance at it right there, just trading the same symbol around the VWAP, finding its support, placing your stops, knowing what you're going to do, and knowing what you're going to do when it moves in either direction. Oh. So anyway, if you like sports gambling, I love sports gambling, and I love listening to other sports gambling shows and listening to their locks of the week. One woman, she went on and 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 on how much she loved Jacksonville over Kansas City. And then the easy answer is, do you think Kansas City starting the season 0-2? No, Kansas City. She went on and on for a good half an hour why it was her favorite pick of the day. And then, of course, she went on and on and on and on and on about her second pick of the day, which was how she's not convinced Seattle's any good and Detroit, who is up and coming, should take care of business. And not that I bet against that one, but and these are people on the radio. I should have my own show. I won again. Hit the parlay and the teaser. Whew, Only lost the one game, and that was a beautiful loss. Had the Cardinals. I'll take that loss any day watching that game. That was awesome. Anyway, affirm new highs. Come on. Affirm new highs. So let's sit here now, right? We could probably sit here for a half an hour. Maybe something happens, maybe something doesn't happen. But more importantly, if you have gone back, right, to the Avenger, maybe you checked the Adobe, maybe you went back to the Qs. There has been now basically a dozen ideas to get involved in today. Affirm still rocking. By the way, Affirm, another 2.5 on top. Remember what I told you where the stock's going? 3-year chart. Anybody going to think, does anybody think right now, seriously, if anybody doesn't think this stock could go back to 41.36, if you don't think Affirm could go back to 41.36, if you just said to yourself, oh, this company's a piece of garbage, it's not going back to 41.36, don't trade. Of course it's going back to 41.36. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I sounded pretty confident right there. But the point is, if you don't think it can because you think something about the company, you're not a trader. It's about symbols, letters, price, momentum, fear, greed, and algorithms. Why did Carvana go back to 58? Because math and short squeezes, momentum, fear, greed, algorithms. Why has Affirm been a great trade? Because it caught the shorts off guard last month, pivoted, and then had a blowout quarter. Whether or not it was a blowout quarter or not, it was enough to say to the shorts, oh, we might have to get the heck out of this one. All right, let's see what happens if it breaks 1975. Oh, broke 1975. We better start covering our short. 1975 gets you 22.50. Now the longs are getting excited. The shorts are on the wrong side. The longs are getting excited. The money gets divided. Now they're broken. It's no joke. It's hard as hell to fight. Don't short it. Freeze. Rock. Just me. I lead you into that every time. And I don't hear you guys singing in the distance. But this is how you find monsters. This is how I found Carvana. 3-year charts coming out of these bottoms. The 3-year charts coming out of these bottoms, they're on the wrong side. I know what it feels like to be short and on the wrong side and being stubborn about it. That's how I blew my life up in 2012 and 2013, and pretty much 2014 also. I just kept fighting the market, and I got hammered. 3 years, 2012 was the worst of it all. I just could not get out of my own way. I know how the shorts think. They never want to give up. They'll even reload. They'll reload before giving up because they're like, oh, I can add here. If it just pulls back a little bit, I can make some money. And then when it doesn't roll over, they have to cover twice as much now. And that's why when I look at this stock, I was like, this is an easy buy coming out of these lows. And then you take the long-term idea and you bring it down to the short-term and you just keep an eye on this stock. First target. Let me show you where else. Here's that 3-year chart, but let me show you a 1-year chart. Well, 1 year doesn't do it for you anymore. Watch. You're at yearly highs already. So now you got to start looking at, some 2 years, right? Before it gets to 43, it's got to get to 36. But before it gets there, you see that last peak right there? That's where it's going now. 27.25. And then if you break 27.25, then 29.50. If 29.50, then 32. And it's just math. It's just algorithmic. If then consolidation between 29.50 and 28.75, 28.75 yields manipulative optimate. Next thing you know, the algorithm kicks in, short covering. Oh my God, algorithm. And then it's just math. And that's how the stock gets there. And now it's still one of my favorite ideas because it's working. And remember, you don't have to own it this whole time. There were many days in here where you bought the dip and sold the rip, bought the dip, sold the rip. Like today. Today it's breaking out of a 3-month high, right? 6-month high now. Yeah, almost. Yeah, yearly is 18-month high. It could roll over and die today, right? So you take your long-term plan, you put it on the short-term chart. That's today's chart. You see that monster candle where it broke out from? That's your stop now. Where it broke, 24.88. So if a firm is at $8 today and it's down 97% because of some illegality that it just is exposed this afternoon, you're out because your stop's right here. So no matter how much I like a stock, I still have no real desire to own stocks anymore overnight, because tomorrow night, when they announce something about blah, 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 and the competition with the blah, 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 and the huda haba hubu, next thing you know, the stock's down 18%. And you're like, but Kenny, I thought you said it was going to 36. I know what I said. I know what I said. And now it's not going to 36. What can I tell you? And that's trading. Have an idea, work the idea, admit when you're wrong, and the stock will be yelling at you that you're wrong. It'll be quite apparent, especially like if a firm was to roll over today and you're still in it, you're obviously not watching it. Your stop is here. There's the VWAP. There's the high water mark. Those are your 3 areas of concern right now. You're not going to let a firm go down 3 points today. You're in. You're having a nice day. Your stops are in. If it breaks down, you're out. What's up, Two Shot? By the way, I was having flashbacks to the Jets game. I'm sorry I didn't come and find you, by the way. No, the Jet game that we were at, the glorious Jets game. I'm so superstitious. Plus, I was pretty freaking wasted. The edibles kicked in. I didn't know what I was doing. I swear to God, I had the whole section cheering, "Live the dream" with me. And then I once they started playing well, I was like, you know what? I can't leave the spot. And then I came back to the section and I could not find you. If you were back in 140, I don't know what happened, but I don't know. Must have been that Clasa Azul and those 2 edibles. I was probably standing right next to you, man. I was floating by the end of that game. It's amazing I found my driver. Oh yeah, that guy was the worst. Just to put it in perspective, you guys know I like to smoke the herb. My man brought me something, and I was like, no, I don't smoke tobacco. He's like, no, that's all weed. It was basically a blunt rolled in weed, covered in weed, and then you have these crystals that you like. It's called keef, rolled in that, and then rolled in something else, and then like dipped in weed, and then like blessed by the angels of the weed gods. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could smoke any more of this. So I was like, all right, enough. And then 2 minutes later, I was like, nah, I gotta try. I gotta hit that thing a couple more times. Oh man, I'm still talking about it 2 weeks later. I gotta get me some of those, by the way. That's a good party favor. That was a good time. You're at a good freaking you're at a good tailgate when they got Clase Azul tequila, and he's pouring me a 12-ounce glass of this awesome tequila. I'm like, it's a sipping tequila. Meanwhile, I drank half that in like a couple of gulps. Oh man, I was lit. You guys have Clase Azul tequila? Woo! It's like tequila, but it seems like they put like some sort of fruit in it, and it's just smooth and awesome. But I had the best chant going. I had live the dream, live the dream, live the dream. Because Wilson either had a nightmare or a dream. He's like, imagine Rodgers goes down and I got to go into the game. And there it was. It was happening. You know what? He didn't look bad yesterday. They would have lost that game with Rodgers either. They still gave up all those points. They couldn't stop Dallas. That one guy on the defense on Dallas, he's like Lawrence Taylor reborn. Guy's everywhere. Forgot his name. Guy was everywhere. But the thing is, that game should have been 10-10 at half. What are you doing calling a roughing the passer when he grabbed him around the legs? What are you supposed to do? Put a pillow down, place the quarterback down? What are you supposed to do? That's why the sport enrages me. Anyway, AVGR is what we're talking about, man. Oh my freaking God. I mean, the stock will not die. Now, I'm not going to be nuts because I've missed this trade now 75 times. But it's these crazy reverse split weird stocks like Avenger. Keep an eye on it. You see how 850 is the high of the day? If this stock tends to hang in there for the whole day and doesn't die, and you see the stock breaking 850 later on, chances are it's going to rip to $10. And these are the crazy ones that you'll see go to $30, but at the same time, you'll see it go from 30 back to 2, and you better be, ready to get the hell out. But we say, when it doesn't want to die, it becomes a buy. That's like 6 different times the stock has actually come back today. Pretty impressive. But more importantly, while we're sitting here, right? Not much going on. You see? That's why we're talking about Keith rolled blunts today. Not much going on. You got your day's pay. Maybe you got into the Carvana. Maybe you did a little Affirm. There's not much going on. Everybody's in wait and see mode. That's it. And that's where we're at. Don't churn your account. Don't give back the money. All right, let me get a cup of coffee. We'll hang out. If anybody has any questions, we could do Q&A for the next 20 minutes. Who's playing tonight? Who's the Monday Night Football game? Oh, yeah, that's a Steelers versus Cleveland. That's all right. Right now, couldn't possibly know who's going to win that game. That was one of the best commentaries about. They gave Terry Bradshaw to pick the Colts Texans game. He's like, who cares? He's like, I don't know, Colts. Who cares? I was like, I like that pick, Colts. Oh, Saints Panthers. See, that Saints should win that game. Panthers are confused. Panthers got the number 1 pick as quarterback, right? Yeah, those are games where it's just like, what's the point? You got no advantage picking on those games. Oh my God, what happened to the market? You know what I've been dying to short? CDLX. Not today. Stock got to 1975. Anybody still working that one? It got to where I thought it would get, but I didn't think it would get there that fast. This is another one's coming out of those 3-year charts. I've been looking for a reason to short it. Figured this thing would have had a 2 or 3 point pullback already, but anyway, yeah. What's up? What's up? So yeah, and this is a typical day. Again, we used to have this funny conversation. Again, speaking of Jimmy would say, weren't, when the Qs end up down 3 at the end of the day today, Jimmy would say, well, you said they were a good buy this morning. I know, Jimmy. And they were a good buy this morning, twice. It's called trading. And seriously, if you're still out there and listening to the sound of my voice right now, the idea of being in a position from 9:30 to 4 o'clock on the same stock in the same side, it happens once in a while. It's very rare to get into a trade at 9:45 and hang in there with it till 4 o'clock. Those are usually kind of boring, bullish days where the market's ripping higher, we gap up, and we just slowly climb all day. Those are boring kind of days. You usually don't see it. Carvana is awesome, but the Carvana trade, like I was describing before, might turn out to be a short. There's the break. There's the break of 53.60. And you went from being long to loving Carvana long, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it, selling some more of it, possibly getting out of the whole thing and flipping the script for a nice buck to the downside. That's $1 right there. Just on the inverse ash crack right there, little butt cheek. There's the bottom of the move. Want to see something cool? If you don't know about this trick, a lot of people don't see short trades as well as they see long trades. You see why it's a long here, but you don't see why it's a short here. Let me show you. Put a negative sign or a minus sign, minus CVNA, and flip it over. Now, wouldn't you be buying this move right here? Double top break into a VWAP break? You'd be buying it, right? See that? Flip it over. You'd be buying, so you better be getting out on the downside. Just like the Qs, right? Same exact trade. By the way, I freaking love this market. I do. This is the best. When you could do the same trade 3 times in one day and then take the other side of the trade, proving your worthiness, your skills are being demonstrated. I love days like this. I would love to. By the way, anybody speaking of swing trades and owning stocks, how about that rig, huh? Did you buy more? Every dip under 8, baby, but then you get the rip to 875, you sell the rip. The stock's been nowhere for 3 months, but if you've been buying the dip and selling the rip, you're making like 10% almost every couple of days. I'm still in it. I'm holding on for glory. Like NNOX going to 0. Be right back. By the way, speaking of stocks that are going to 0, NNOX, right? We got the $15 calls at a cost average of 350. Probably out to 350, but that's one of those moments where I say, hey, look, if you want to do some long-term investing, do it with some leaps. The longer dated options are actually cheaper in theory or in reality. The longer you go out, there's a limit to how much they could keep charging you for time. It starts to dissipate the further you go out. So we went out to the longest dated call we could find to buy NNOX because we just wanted to be in it. We bought the $15 calls for next April. We bought some at 3, we bought some at 4, and our cost average is around 350. And they're probably going to 0 right now. But we still got till next April for the stock to do something. And, if you own the stock and you happen to buy it at 20, you're getting smoked. Here, doesn't matter if it goes to 0. We're only going to be out the 3.5 points. On that note, I'll be right back. Hey-o! So what else is going on? What's your prediction on what that bacalao is going to do with the rates this week? I got some predictions for you because, hey, why not throw some out there? I'm going to say interest rates will not be cut this year, and they will only maybe possibly be cut once next year. And I believe, I'm not just making this up, this is what I believe. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I believe that we will be coasting along at around 5.5% or 5%, right, for the next 18 months. And then we'll be able to function as a society at 5%. I know it was done before, and I think it can be done again. The housing prices will come down, people will adjust. People will start getting used to the idea that we're not going back to 0%, and they're going to have to start doing business here. So let's just do it. I think we're going to raise them one more time. And remember, you don't want them cutting interest rates because that's a show of weakness. And again, it's the form of the manipulation that has worked in the past. Anytime the market's gone down, they cut interest rates, makes the market go up. They pump money into the system, blah, 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 blah. We get the game, right? But you know what? My prediction, if I had to make one, 5%, at least 5% for the next 18 months. And I'm hoping 9.5. I'm hoping 12.5. My parents got a loan originally. I remember when they were at over 9.5%, and they what's it called? I don't know the word I'm looking for. You know the word. Whatever. Refinance. There you go. Thank you. And they got down to 7.5. They were thrilled. That's why, man, if you were in the right place at the right time, 30-year fixed was 2 5/8 at one point. I mean, I never, at 4.25, I never thought I would refinance ever. And there we were. Because it gets to a point where it makes sense to do all that paperwork again. And then we did it. And then I never thought after the second time we would actually refinance again, but the numbers made sense and it was worth it. I'm locked in now on both of my properties. These are not commercial real estate. You couldn't get that low. But on my home and my mother-in-law's home, we're at 2.75. 2.75. And the whole idea, and this is where I think the government was doing the right thing. They were begging us to do things down there. Please refinance, please take out money, do what you got to do, and then position yourself for when interest rates go up. My whole dream, and maybe my dreams are less grandiose as you think. One of my dreams was, wouldn't it be great if interest rates went up after I refinance and I could pay my mortgage off by the money I'm making on the interest in the bank? Wouldn't that be great? And here we are. And here we are. So feeling pretty good about that. We get to hang out every day, have some fun doing this. I get to meet new people. I need new friends in my life. All my old friends have moved away or don't like me anymore, or I don't like them. Kind of had a nervous breakdown yesterday, as a matter of fact. I realized I've been sitting in my house for 11 years. I'm a fucking weirdo now. I mean, there's no doubt. Like, I don't know if I operate, if I'm able, if I was in real society, like if I had to go into work and be around people, like normal people in a place of business, I don't know if I'd be able to function as a regular person anymore. I've been in my house for a decade. Since Superstorm Sandy. And that's it. I am I am like a borderline recluse curmudgeon weirdo now. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I joke about it, but I really am a weird, reclusive curmudgeon. I'm set in my ways. I'm like an old guy hunkered down in my bunker, and I and I know, and I never leave my house. And I never made like those friends. I never made work friends because I've been in such an isolationary kind of business, and then everybody I met in this industry were two-bit charlatans or criminals, and here I am, alone and insane. At least I got a friend that took me to the Jets game the other day. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for getting me out of my house. Please call me. I need friends. But I'm going to get back on stage because after I was having my nervous breakdown last night, I'm like, I only have one other thing I can do well, and that's be an idiot in front of other people, otherwise known as stand-up comedy. So I'm going to start getting up on stage, and basically, I'm ready. I wasn't ready to be a stand-up 20 years ago. Now I have that self-loathing that you need to be a comic. I have life experience. I'm not afraid of being in front of people anymore. I was for a while, and I've got more stories now, and I'm a complete imbecile. So it's a perfect, it's a perfect storm. Because I got to get the hell out of my house, man. I got to get the hell out of. I mean, weeks go by and I don't leave. Weeks go by. I'm like, well, I haven't left my house except for the chores that my wife put on me, which is basically every day. It's no hello, good morning, how you feeling? I love you. Yeah, so make sure you go to Wegmans, and last time you bought the wrong cheese. Yeah, don't get that cheese anymore. I'll send you the picture of the cheese that I need you to get. Oh, also, I need you to run to the store, and then Lisa's gonna come by and she's gonna give you something. So that's all my life is. It's just one big chore. I don't even get an allowance. I don't even get an allowance. You want to go see you're going to New England game, right? I mean, if they beat New England at least once this year, I'll be happy. You can't lose this game. You got to win this game. You gotta be 2-1 after Sunday. You gotta beat New England. You have to. You have to beat Miami once. And I will be on the Benzinga program at 3:40 this afternoon. All right. So if you guys don't know, I have a Twitter page, a YouTube page. I'm often on the Benzinga show with the pre-market prep guys, some of the best guys in the industry. Dennis Dick, Joel Elconin. Remember Spencer Israel? He used to be there. He's working with JC now. And I apologize if you're watching. I forgot the other kid's name. Nice kid. Like I could call people kids now too, right? I'm over 50. Can I call a 30-year-old a kid? I'm 52. If they're 30, they're kids now, right? Good job, kid. Hey, you know why we haven't announced any trades this whole time? Because there ain't nothing going on, baby. Nothing going on but the rent. That's it. Young Mitch. There you go. Thank you. Yes. Oh, Mitch. It's tasty. My daughter's this close to going to Florida. She's going to be a Gator. And I like it. I didn't want to go to Clemson, Georgia. She just crossed Indiana off the list. So right now, we're putting our efforts to join in the swamp. Big win down the swamp, Tennessee, who can't play football in Florida, lost again, if you know streaks. I'm over 50 and I still smoke the marijuana. Yes. Happy Hanukkah. Smoke your marijuana. Yeah. I'm tuning it down now. Well, that's what I tell my wife. Yeah, I don't like to drink. I've always been a more of a head than a drinker. That's how I stay thin. But I got some weed now. As soon as I smoke it, I feel like eating, like I'll eat anything you put in front of me. There's certain weeds. It has, all those millions of strains. I got one now. I'm like, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." I was eating styrofoam with salt on it the other night just to give me something. Yeah. Yeah, I only smoke at night, so it's just like, except when I hang out with Two Shot, smoking cigars rolled in keef. Still feeling it. I wasn't right the next day. Still feeling wah, 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 wah. And then, of course, my driver got lost on the ride home. I'm like, how did you get lost? You have GPS. It's one exit. How are we in Delaware right now? What the hell's going on? We were almost in Delaware. I was like, what? What's going on here? I guess I couldn't have more than, I couldn't believe I found her in the parking lot. I had to go to the D lot, which was like a 3 mile hike from where I was. I was all spaced out. And there she was, right there, waiting. But then she got lost on the ride home. Oh, wait. I'm seeing some weird stuff going on. Hang on a second. What's going on here? What in the heck? Oh, wow. Look at that. Sorry. My scanner was bugging out a little bit. What's it telling me to do? Something going on with Mara. Oh my God. Something is going on with Mara. Holy cow. What a miss. You guys crushing this thing? This thing was hot this morning. Oh man. Why am I getting a freaking now it's flashing? Look at that. Wait a second. This actually might be turning into a long trade right this second. Look at that. Weird. Weird how that just came right off. All right. What price is that? You're risking 4 cents. All right, I'm in. I don't know. I see it jumping off the scanner right there. I'm in. Not going to go crazy. I was halfway out the door. But let's see. If it breaks over that orange, you got yourself, what do you get? $9.80. Retrace back to the VWAP, 20 cents on a $9 stock. Give it a shot with a 4-cent risk. Not much going on. Uh-oh. All right, we're getting some more from the peanut gallery from last week. I call Kenny over. Range Rover. Oh, that was Red Rover. You kind of missed too much on this one. Can't chase nothing on a sideways day. That's how you get chopped up. But Mara was a reversal to the downside already. You should take a look at Riot. So many old, awful stocks that we used to trade. And every one of them has a story that made sense at the time, or maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I'm always talking about these doom and gloom reports that I get. There was one doom and gloom report back during, I think it was coming out of COVID. Well, first we were going to run out of diesel and we were all going to die, but right around the diesel scare, there was a wheat scare that we were running out of wheat and we were all going to starve to death. And then there was a Ukraine. Ukraine was a big supplier of wheat, and there was going to be a wheat shortage. And there was a stock called App Harvest, APPH, App Harvest, APPH. Now there's a Q at the end of it. And by the way, if you ever put a Q at the end of your stock, sell it. App Harvest. So again, it's these story stocks that get you in trouble because the story tends to make sense. Oh, we're having a wheat shortage. Oh, this company, blah, 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 has technology to help, wheat production, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, you're in at $5 thinking, all right, that story sounds good. Now it's at 3 cents. Like my story, I bought into the NNOX story, right? NNOX. What's the story got me so far? Nothing but pain. And we were in this thing at the lows. I've given it all back. Jerry, all back. I got in this bad boy at $7. Started buying, we had a lot of fun with it for a while. And then we said, all right, let's put it some into our long-term portfolio. Luckily, we don't own the stock, but the story made so much sense. They got approval for the MRI. They got Johnson & Johnson coming in, buying a stake in the company. Everything you want to see, everything you want to hear. All right, let's go. It's been dead. Look how, this is just awful. But no, it's not awful. Mara up $80. Let's go. Pays for that trade, right? Come on, baby. Come on. Now, if you're in at 980, I know this is not some monumental trade, right? Usually a $9 stock. What's a typical day trader doing? $9 stock, minimum 1,000 shares, right? So if you're buying 1,000 shares at 980, next thing you know, the stock's up 7 cents. It's $70. It's more than I put on, the Giant game yesterday. I only put $50 on the Giant game. So bang, the Mara just paid for my Jets bet. Money's money. You take it when you can get it. And maybe you bought 3,000 shares. Stock goes up 8 cents. You got yourself a day's pay. You take it where you can get it. And then you take the money and run. Because sometimes all you're going to get is the 8. I was hoping for more, obviously. We'll see what happens on this next move. And if it rolls over and dies, you say, all right, easy come, easy go. Or you sell half, and then you get sold out of the other half. But it's all, remember, once you find your entry and you define your risk, you're working the trade, and that's it. Once you're in the working your trade mode, do as best as you can, put your stop on, and, avoid being chopped up and churned. What else have we got? What's going on? Still got the rig. I was going through some of these stocks. I don't remember some of them. We've gone through so many names. Like, what was Sluggo? You guys remember Sluggo? SLGG? Was this NFT? I remember I loved this name. And now it doesn't even exist. SLGG. SLGG. Is there a Q at the end of it now? No, it doesn't even exist. SLGG. I think it was called Super League or something. I think it was an IPO, and it doesn't even exist. And I remember having so much fun with it, but not more fun than Mara. Oh, there's your $90. That pays for 2 cups of coffee. My wife and daughter went to Starbucks yesterday, and they came out. It was $15.80. What the hell's going on at Starbucks? They came out with 2 drinks. Oh, I got booted. All right. Farewell. Did you hear that? Oh, that's what happened. I see. Another glitch in the matrix. See, I'm onto something. Starbucks. See, I said something bad about Starbucks, and next thing you know, my computer's not working right. Oh, fuck with Schultz. What was his name? That's hilarious. Yeah, I think I got the boot. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can reboot. Rebooting. Oh, I'm back. See, I started talking negatively about Starbucks. Then the whole shithouse went up in flames. But more importantly, if you're in Mara, there's your 1/8 of a point. There's your 1/8 of a point. 1/8 of a point. Eighth of a point. This is how I made a living as a young Kenny Glick. I would trade $12 stocks, under 20 stocks all day, and make eighths and a quarter, eighths and quarters on 3,000 share lots all day. All day. And I became very, very good at that. And that's why I didn't get rich when the market exploded, because I was so used to taking eighths and quarters when Yahoo started trading in 20-point increments, and Adaptech, and I'm sorry, Akamai is trading in 30-point ranges, and DoubleClick and Netscape are going nuts. I didn't know how to comprehend. I was pretty good at just taking my quarters and eighths. I made some money on, I had some dollar moves, but when they started ripping, I didn't know how to do it. And I just had to, figure out how to be more patient. And that's why you never sell everything at one price. And that's why my mentor taught me how to stay in the trades. I would usually buy 3,000 shares. It would go up an eighth. I'd sell all 3,000. Why not? But then he's like, why are you doing that? Sell 2,000, hold the other 1,000 because you're being arrogant about your trade. Remember that conversation? I didn't even understand what that meant at first. So Isaac, is all the stuff that I learned is from Isaac. He's like, you're being arrogant about your trade if you sell it all at one price, because why would you think that the price you're selling it right now is going to be the best price for the rest of the day? By the way, a firm is rolling over if you're not watching it. So you just don't sell it all at one price. You got 3,000 shares, you take that eighth of a point. Now you got your 250. Hold on to that last 1,000 with a stop at break even. At least you've got the 250 in the bank, and now you let that last 1,000 breathe. And then I became a better trader just doing that. Did the Qs just hit new lows? What's going on? No, that's a bad print. But my friends, we're trapped in a really nice trading range, and it's awesome. It's awesome because this is what we do. This is what we do best. The market that's not crashing, it's not ripping higher. It's just trading in a tight range. We play the range. We take what we can get. And then she looks at me with those big brown eyes and says, you ain't seen nothing yet. Bow, bow. I ain't seen nothing yet. Bow, bow. What song is that? It's something you'll never forget, baby. Ain't seen nothing yet. Down, down. All right, Bachman, yeah, BTO. There you go. Are they the same ones who do Taking Care of Business? Is that the same song? No, Taking Care of Business, Nancy. Same song, right? But more importantly, there's your $120 on Mara. See, we're sitting here. That's how it happens. $130 now. $140 now. That's right. That's how it happens. You're sitting here in the driver's seat. You got your money. You see Mara go by. Ooh, scanner. Oh, I could take advantage of that. See, the scanner tipped us off. You still got to know what you're doing, right? You still got to understand what's going on here on the Mara. You understand ass crack bottoms, multi-day VWAP breaks. VWAP break gets you back to the multi-day. 1 minute gets you back to the Woo! And that, my friend, is how you make a living as a day trader. My God. Now you're up $200. And if you got 3,000 shares, you're up $600. And if you got the $10 options, you might be up 100% on your money now. So let's see if you did the right thing. If there was a 950 call nearby, you would have went 950. If there was only a 10 nearby, you're forced to buy the 10s. Let's see if the option trade would have even worked. 950 weekly. 950 weekly. Yeah, you would have bought them you would have got them at 60, 58 maybe. And now they're 75. That ain't bad. Still rather trade stock. Cheap moves, days over, right? Were you waiting there for a day's pay? There you go. That's how it happens. You just witnessed trading. And on that note, congratulations, everybody. You just made a day's pay, right? See? The trades find us. There's no need for scanners. You need one scanner. I'm your freaking scanner. And by the way, if you don't know, not only am I your scanner, I am, or I used to be, Scan Man. I don't know where it is. Usually I have a good intro. I'd have a good intro to Scan Man. I don't even know where Scan Man is anymore. Where's Scan Man? Scan Man and the Masters of the Universe. Oh, Scan Man. Here he is. Thank you. I am Scan Man. So next time somebody wants to sell you a scanner, remember, I have the scanner that scans all the other scans. So I am Scan Man, scanning all the scans that a Scan Man can. Scan Man. I am Scan Man. Scan Man. Scanning the scans only the Scan Man can. Scan Man. By the way, Affirm new highs. Sorry, I was mistaken. I thought Affirm was pulling back. By the way, Mara, there you go. That's called the VWAP retrace. Stocks want to go back to their favorite average price. And what is the stock's favorite average price? It's otherwise known as VWAP. Oh, so now the VWAP trader says, hey, what do I do here? You sell, right? And now you raise your stop to that last pivot, which is 989. And you say, Kenny, what if it breaks back over the blue line? And I tell you, it probably goes to $10.13. Hang in there. So you say, okay, cool. So now your next target, stay on target, is $10.13. But your stop remains 989. So now the if-then statement, if you're typing them into the computer, if Mara 980, what price is it? 989. If 989, sell what's left. If 1013, sell another 20% and then raise stop to 10. Enter. And now you're set. Think like a computer. If you're going to fight the machine, you got to be the machine, right? All right. I'm glad you guys made some money. Be careful out there. This market is sideways, choppy. You will churn your account if you continue to do this. So take the money and run. Go put on some music. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. And we'll all see each other in Nashville. So you guys have a great rest of the day. Don't forget, if you don't know who to vote for in 2024, don't be a dick. Vote Glick. Later.